Hi everyone, welcome to Pilates with Tal. I'm going to take you through a little glute series, so get excited. Optional weights are very light, and then squish ball also is optional. If you are using weights, feel free to grab two. And then we're going to start in a kneeling position, feet flat on the mat, hands into heart center. Just pause here, slightly tuck your pelvis in, and then we're going to send our glutes back behind us and come back up. Lower, lower, and then back up. Imagine almost as if you're doing a squat. And then if you'd like to add on through the arms, the next time you come up, arms go back behind you and then back in. Keep going just like that. So send the glutes back. They're almost on your heels, but they're hovering, and then up. And instead of squeezing your glutes at the top, imagine your crown of the head growing nice and tall up towards the ceiling. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Come up, keep your hands in heart center, keep your feet where they are, slowly start to hinge back, and then use your core, use your front body to lift you back up. Take it back, and then back up, keep going. Adding in a little arm variation to make glute work a little more fun. Reach your arms forward as you go back, row your elbows in. For 3, 2, 1, keep your arms out, take your elbows out towards the sides, come back up, and then you're going to send your glutes back as your elbows come in, and open the elbows out as you come back up. Breathe here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, drop the weights. Bring your hands directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips. And then start to send your right leg back behind you. And bring it back into a hover. Send that right leg back and bring it into a hover. Keep going just like that. Your gaze is down. And your toes are pointing with a ton of energy. You're pushed through your hands so that you're not dumping through the shoulders. You're here for 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg back behind you. Lower the toes down, lift back up. Lower and lift. Keep going just like that. In 3, we're going to switch the foot. In 2, in 1, change your toes from pointed into flexed, lower down, lift back up, keep going. For 3, getting into the back line of the body for 2, 1, hold at the top, pause here, and then tiny kick, sending that heel back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, keep going for 3, 2, 1, bring that leg back in, and then we'll go straight into the other side. So send that leg back behind you, and then back in, and keep going just like that. If your wrists start to feel icky, you can always come onto fists or onto forearms. For 3, 2, last one, send that leg back, lower, and lift. And in 3, we'll switch the foot. 2, keep that leg lifted, flex the foot, and then lower, and lift. Keep going just like that. For 5, 3, 2, 1, send that leg up, and then tiny kicks. Kick that heel back behind you for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring that knee in, and then walk yourself onto your back. Bring your weights close by in case you want to grab them. Soup cans or books, anything like that is going to be a good alternative. And start to lift your hips up into a bridge. And lower back down. Keep going just like that. And notice how I'm not going too high in my bridge. I'm only going until about my mid upper back. That's only as far as we need to go. So it's not about making a huge movement through the spine. We're really trying to get into the glutes here. So a few other tricks to help with that. Push into your heels as you come to lift, and then let that go as you lower. Also, just make sure you can wiggle your toes so that they're not gripping into the mat. And same thing with your hands. They're just light, they're loose. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Stay up, and then you're going to pulse your hips up, up, up for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top, grab your weights, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, drop your hips down. And as you lift your hips back up, you're going to row your elbows out to the sides and then lift back up. Row it down and lift and keep going here. So notice if you're pushing into one heel more than the other, try to push into both heels equally to lift. Notice if your arms are moving with a ton of momentum, and instead try to make this a slow, mindful movement where you're really pulling through the hands and then pushing. You can use your imagination here. What do you want to pull towards you? And what do you want to push away from you? Keep going. We're here for 3. Glutes are starting to say hi for 2. Last one, you're going to pause at the top. Keep your glutes here. You're going to take your elbows in towards your sides and then reach your arms up, row them in. Reach, reach, and lower. Notice if your hips are dropping at all, try to keep them lifted. Try to push into both heels equally. And again, what are you pulling towards you and pushing away with a ton of energy and resistance? You're here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your hips, lower your arms. Take your feet now wide as your mat and externally rotate them so your toes are pointed outward. And from here, just place your hands really gently on the mat or on your weights and then push your hips up and lower. Push up and lower and keep going here. Again, can you notice if you're pushing into both heels equally? And also try to notice, are you pushing through the inner part of your heel or the outer part of your heel? Try to center that. Toes come light on the mat. We're here for 3 before we add the arms. For 2. And 1, arms reach up towards the ceiling, bend your elbows out towards the sides, and then you're going to close your knees as you close your elbows in, open everything back up. Close, close, and open. Try to keep your hips lifted. They might naturally drop, that is totally fine, but try to keep them as high as you can. For 2, last 1. Bring everything in, hips drop as your arms reach, and arms lower as your hips come up. Keep going. Whew, the glutes are really firing up now. We're gonna breathe through it. That's what we do when things get hard. We use our breath to power us through. For 3, 2, 1, hold the hips up, drop the weights. One last thing before we close off, you're gonna bring your knees in, lower the hips, they're just hovered, Open the knees and lift up. Bring the knees in, lower, open, lift. Keep going. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Take your right ankle, place it just below your left knee, and you can either stay here, flexing both feet, pushing your front knee away from you, or bring your left knee up into table, grab behind your left thigh, pause here, and then if you want a bit more stretch, turn this into a side-to-side rock. Two more rounds of breath. And on your next exhale, switch out the feet. Stretching through your left side glute this time. And that's your quick glute series. Thank you for moving with me.